Hey guys, Mike from Beat Tech Reviews here, and happy May. Today's May 2nd, 2024, and I wanted to go over a few deals that is going on Metro by T-Mobile. If you guys are not familiar with the channel, check out my other videos. I do unboxings of smartphones and cheap tech. So if you guys like the channel, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it, and subscribe, please. So anyways, going back to the deals here, I'm going to go over a few Metro by T-Mobile deals, and we are live technically, so if there's anybody in the chat, I'll try to answer your questions as promptly as possible. I do not have the webcam on today, so just keep that in mind. I won't be showing my pretty face just because I just got out of the shower and I am not clothed. So anywho's, hopefully everyone's doing good. Hopefully you guys had a great April, and hopefully we are going to have a great May as well. So, and again, smash that like button. Let's get this going. Okay, so looks like we have several deals on Metro by T-Mobile going on right now, guys. So I'm going to start off with a few of them here on the home page. So it says experience the iPhone 12 with 5G now, just $99.99. All right, pay zero activation fees online. So that's actually not a bad deal. I'm not sure if that's port your number. Let's check that out. So it says keep your existing phone number. Phone numbers currently active. So we'll have to go look at that. I think that's when you port your number though. So that's actually a good deal if you do want to get into an iPhone. For the most part though, let's go to the other one. So this one's a decent deal if you haven't checked it out yet. Also, Samsung Galaxy A15, only $29.99, right? Get it today with instant rebate. Add a voice line to your existing Metro plan or get a new number. So $30 for the Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Again, we have a few more here. It says get online with all the data you need for only $25 a month. Pay $30 a month for your first month and $25 after with auto pay. So they're giving you a $5 discount. Pretty much not too bad. 4 lines for $100 plus 4 free Samsung Galaxy 5G phones. So not bad at all if you guys are looking into getting some cheap service with more than one line. iPhone 11 at $49. I don't think a lot of people would go for the iPhone 11. And then we have the Motorola Razor at $99.99. Again, I think that's with the port in though. So let's go ahead and let's go to the actual phones and here. So the showcase phones that I have for this stream today, guys, are the TCL XL or 50XL 5G, which right now it's $0 with the $60 plan. So if you're a new customer, it's going to be $0 if you purchase the $60 plan with auto pay. Existing customers, it says log in for the device, but it says bring your number as well, so you can get this phone for $0 down again at the $60 price point. Again, I haven't gotten any new devices from TCL since 2022. They really stopped sending me their devices since 2022, ever since Brad left. So sorry, Brad. If you're still subscribed to my channel, I'll give you a shout out for at least working with me for a few devices, right? But yeah, TCL, it really isn't a bad brand when it comes to devices. You may have heard the name before because they sell TVs, right? But, using some of their smartphones, over the last couple of years, the TCL 10 Pro, the TCL 20 Pro 5G, you know what I mean? Those were decent phones, right? Their phones, they've gotten to a point where they're just basically selling mid-range devices now. But let's go over the specs of this device really quick. So you get a 50 megapixel hybrid rear triple camera setup, right, with a 8 megapixel front camera. You do have 25 hours of talk time. You do have a 6.7 FHD plus display clocked at 120 hertz, 1080 by 2460. So it's not an AMOLED or an OLED display, but they do have for them still using LCD technology, which I feel like at this point, they can get AMOLED screens for cheap. So I don't know why they're just not going with AMOLED. But I guess probably because they're going with their own technology, right? 120 hertz refresh rate display powered by NXT Vision, 5,000 milliamp battery, of course, 128 gigs of internal memory with 6 gigs of RAM. So the 6 gigs of RAM might be a deterrence for some people, although I think between 6 and 8 is pretty decent for a mid-ranger, and anything above 12 honestly is like a flagship device. So it does have face unlock and side-mounted fingerprint biometric security, so you get best of both worlds. It does have NFC, dual speakers with Dolby, I think it's Dolby 3D boom sound, enhanced responsiveness with 240 hertz touch sampling rate. Okay, so I guess if you're into gaming, that might be beneficial to you. But for the most part, I wanted to see which kind of chipset it has. Also, it says it's got a MediaTek chipset, so I'm not too familiar with it. MediaTek octa-core processor. Let me get on another website just so we can kind of check that out for you guys really quick. But yeah, let's see, MediaTek, let's see, Phone Arena, or is it gsmarena.com? Let's check out gsmarena.com. I usually use their website, TCL 50XL. Okay, let's see if anything comes out. Whoa, it does not. Okay, let's try Phone Arena then. Hold on. I usually use a few different websites to check out my devices. Let's see. It says TCL 50XL goes on sale at most affordable 5G phones at Metro by T-Mobile. Okay, so I really just want to know what processor it comes with, because buy for a measly $159.99 by Metro by T-Mobile. So let's take a look here. It's not really giving me a lot of information as far as that goes. So I can just tell you it has a MediaTek processor, but you know, for the price point under $200, and again, basically Metro by T-Mobile is giving you this device for free. You know, really can't undercut the cost, especially because I've used TCL phones with MediaTek processors and they've actually performed fairly well considering. So again, I can't complain. So again, if you guys are going to go with a new number, all you got to do is just add to cart, right? Let's click that. Let's see if that works, right? So choose your plan. So you do have to go with the $60 plan to get the instant rebate, right? If you choose the $50 or $40 plan, you are going to see the full charge on the device itself. They even have a $30 plan. Well, it says $30 plan with autopay. It just says 5 gigabytes with autopay. So $35. I don't see anybody using a $30 plan that only offers 5 gigabytes of data, because I mean, there's just so many other options out there. Mint Mobile. You have, you know, companies now that are out there like Helium Mobile, right? That you can basically get unlimited talk, text, and data for 20, but they throttle you after 30 gigabytes of usage. So I don't see the reason why they would have a $30 plan. I know they have a $25 plan. I think that's bring your own phone though. But yeah, if you click add to cart with the $60 plan, let me exit this out here. I don't need to talk to a T-Mobile rep. I don't need to talk. So right now, again, the phone is $159.99. Again, if you do the $60 plan, you are going to pay $65 for that first month, but that includes the phone, right? So basically, you're getting the phone free. So you're just paying the $65. And again, shipping is free. They usually do 2-day shipping once the order is placed and processed. So really not too bad, honestly, guys. I mean, if you're looking for like a nice little backup phone or a good mid-ranger, you know, this would be a good device. Let me see if I can actually remove this from my snap. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can remove this from my cart, and then we'll go back to the phone plans. Let's go to shop phones again. So the next device that I'm thinking about getting, guys, right, which would be hopefully on par with the Moto G stylus 5G from last year, right, is the Motorola G, the Moto G 5G. So I remember there was a time when the Moto G devices were pretty inexpensive, obviously, right, and they still are to a certain degree, right, but back then, you know, they were actually very comparable and decent mid-range devices, right? You know, I remember buying the original Moto G and the Moto G second and third generations, and you know, up to the 6 and 7, and they were very good devices, right? You know, they were to the point where, like, you know, it was like a Motorola's version of, like, I guess the you know, the Pixel 7a series or the 6a series, right? The A series for Pixel, right? Where you know, they gave you a pretty decent, you know, budget phone with decent specs, right? So here we are looking at the Motorola, again, 5G 2024. Again, this is a free phone with a new number. Again, with the $60 plan. Let's go over specs really quick. So you do get 50 megapixel quad setup instead of that tri setup with the TCL phone. You get an 8 megapixel front camera. You get a 6.6 inch screen with clocked at 120 hertz, 1612 by 720. So you actually do not get full HD unlike the TCL phone, which it's kind of crazy that this phone isn't full HD. It's only a 720p display. Keep in mind, guys, though, right, that this phone is free, and it is a budget phone, right? So we're not looking at super specced out specs here. But anyways, you do get 120 hertz display and Dolby Atmos, 18-watt turbocharging. So not the fastest charging, but it's better than 5 watts, right? 18-watt, you'll still be able to get a full charge on your device within like an hour. Super fast 5G performance, of course, right? Mid-band, right? On Metro by T-Mobile, you'll be looking between 2 and 500 megabits a second on the download, which a lot of people really can't complain about nowadays. Qualcomm Snapdragon 4 Gen 1 processor. So I don't know much about this chipset, right? The last set of phones that I've gotten from that have a Snapdragon processor are either 8th gen or 6/7th gen. So I can't tell you too much about how good this device is. I know it's a lot better than last year's device from watching other reviews. Guys like Kevin Breeze, and of course guys like I forget the other guy's name, but anyways, you get 128 gigs of internal storage, 5,000 milliamp battery, and of course this one does have expandable memory, so you can add up a micro SD card on there up to 1 terabyte. So if you guys look at these budget devices, they're all basically the same. Like as far as specs goes, like you're getting a lot of the same specs. You're getting 120 hertz refresh rate. You're getting a 5,000 milliamp battery. You're getting decent charging speeds. 128 gigs of internal memory, right? This goes for most budget devices, right? I'm seeing this all around the board. Samsung, Motorola. It says with an immersive display of multi-dimensional sound, the Moto G 5G takes your movies, shows, and games to the next level. All right, let's go. With a fast fluid 6.6-inch 120 hertz display, right? Now, of course, you can actually change that. Most of these devices gives you the option to go back to 60, or they have an adaptive display thing where it allows you to it'll decide for you how fast it needs to be. It will hinder your battery life a little bit, keeping it at that though, or if you keep it at the 100 at all times. So again, Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. This one, it only has 4 gigs of RAM though, so I'm kind of skeptical about this because you are getting a Snapdragon processor opposed to a MediaTek, right? This one is clocked at or it's an octa-core processor clocked at 2 gigahertz. But the 4 gigs of RAM, in my experience, like with the Samsung A15 5G, right, it only has 4 gigs of RAM, right? I feel like these newer mid-range phones are underperforming with the specs that they have now compared to phones from 10 years ago, right? I remember having like the original Nexus and the original Moto G, and I could tell you that those phones performed a lot better with lesser specs than what we see now. So I don't know what's going on with that specifically. As far as that goes, but again, it's a budget phone, guys, right? So it's free. And let's take a look here. So again, I wish Metro by T-Mobile allowed you to make the pictures bigger here, but for the most part, it does look like very polycarbonate in the back, right? It looks like you're just gonna get a dual camera setup, right, which is nothing to gawk at, right? Let's take a look. It says 50 megapixel. Oh, okay, never mind. It says quad camera, so I don't know where you're getting quad from. It looks like it's only got a double camera setup, but again, maybe there's a third camera in one of those sensors that we're not seeing. 5,000. Motorola has great battery life. I'm not going to knock them on that. Whatever. I think for the Moto G, I feel like they're kind of undercutting this device now, and they're kind of putting other devices like the Motorola stylus ahead of it, right? Because I feel like that's like where they want to go as far as their mid-range phones are, and who knows? I mean, the way it's looking, they might just get rid of the Moto G phone altogether, because who knows? I mean, I doubt they sold a lot of Moto Gs last year, and again, these are phones for people that are just trying to get into a phone that really can't afford like an upgrade, like to like a very good mid-range or even a flagship device, right? Not that saying that there's anything wrong with that, right? I mean, that's why they call them budget devices, right? But for the most part, I might skip this device and I might, get the TCL. The TCL phone is intriguing me just a little bit more. And I hate the fact that TCL doesn't really get a lot of love nowadays. Like TCL does make decent phones. But I guess because the brand is just not known, you know, a lot of people usually stay away from it. Let's take a look at the Moto G stylus 5G from last year. Right now, again, if you go with a new number, again, if you're going with the $60, you know, the $60 pay, or auto with $60 plan with auto pay, you get this phone for free also. So if I were you guys, I would actually go with the Motorola stylus from last year, right? So this phone, let's just go over the specs really quick. You know, this one has a little bit of a better spec life, same, you know, screen size, same internal memory. You know, you do get 120 hertz display, but you know, again, I think this one you do get a 1080p display opposed to a 720 display on the Motorola G from this year. And I can attest to you guys, because I actually do film. I do film on my YouTube channel with this device every now and then, right? It's got a very decent camera, right? It can shoot in 4K, up to 4K as far as that goes. 6 gigs of internal RAM. You have a memory card expansion up to 2 terabytes. So overall, you know, I would probably choose last year's Motorola stylus 5G over this year's Motorola G, just from specs alone, right? Again, you know, you're still going to get fast charging. You know, can't complain about that with that 5,000 milliamp battery. Again, you know, I've gamed on it a little bit, and I can't complain. The gaming is nice. You know, the screen, even though it's not an AMOLED or an OLED display, you're still going to get very good refresh rate. And you know, as long as you know the screen is not tilted or anything like that, you're not going to have issues with viewing or viewability as far as that goes. And of course, you know, you're getting Metro by T-Mobile's network. So let's go back there again. You know, I'm just going over whatever I'm seeing here, guys. It's going to be a short video. You know, they do have phones like the Samsung A54 still on sale. So this one, if you guys are like the Samsung ecosystem, right? I really enjoyed Samsung A54 5G. From last year. With the new number, you're paying $149. If you bring your number, it's only $49.99. So not too bad. I remember, I think I paid like $90 for this phone last year, back when they were throwing out promotions. So again, can't complain about that. You know, it's got decent specs. Keep in mind, this one is running on Samsung's chipset. It's running on Samsung's Exynos processor with 6 gigs of RAM. So I really believe that this phone needed 8 gigs of RAM, because I do remember it being a little bit glitchy and buggy. But after the Android, I believe this phone, before I sold it, updated to Android 14, either Android 13 or 14. I'm not 100% sure. I think Android updated to the latest version of Android, though. It felt a little more buttery smooth with that update, though. So if you guys are a part of Samsung's ecosystem, you want a nice screen, a phone with good battery life. The only thing that's really missing from this device is the wireless charging. So if you don't get wireless charging, then, you know, if you don't really care for it, then this phone, you know, you might want to spend the extra money in getting a Samsung A54. Keep in mind, the Samsung A55 is now out, so you know, you might want to look into that. And we also have phones like the the Galaxy A35 5G, right? So right now, this phone, again, with the new number, is $229. You know, I feel like every time you skip down a number, though, that you're losing, like, you know, quality as far as that goes. But most of these devices have the same screen, have the same refresh rate. You know, you're just really looking at chipset and gigs of RAM. So this one does come with 6 gigs of RAM. Also, it comes with an Exynos processor. Going back to that, right? But this one is an Exynos 1380. I'm not 100% sure. I need to go back to the Samsung A54. I know the Samsung A54 had a Exynos something as well. Let me see if it shows it there. I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't 100%. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, it's the same processor as the Samsung A54, right? And you're actually spending more on this device, on the other device, rather than the A54. So if I were you guys, basically the same phone, you know what I mean? This one has 25 watt fast charging, right? But I mean, 6 gigs of RAM. You know, you have the 1 terabyte expansion on the memory for $149 with the new number. And if you go to the A35, I think that's just the dumbest crap I've ever seen, honestly. You know, they want you to pay an extra $80 for a device that has the exact same specs, right? You know, like if you were to go to a swap meet and say, hey, these two phones are exactly the same, but you're charging me $80 more, you know, really nothing any different as far as the way the phone is. You know, the only thing is, from what I'm seeing, is that this phone is IP rated, you know, compared to, and I think the other one is IP rated also. I don't think they were promoting it, but I'm pretty positive that the A54 is IP rated to a certain degree. but still, if you want something that's a little bit newer, you can go for something like this. I would rather spend my money on the A54 instead. You can go for a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE, which, again, this is basically a flagship phone, $199. If you want to spend the extra $50, you can get this phone with a new line. That's actually really not a bad deal. At the beginning of the year, they were actually offering this phone for a lot less, but it was never available online. So that was a little bit disappointing. And you do have to use the auto pay, but you are saving about $400. So retail, this phone is still a $600 phone, guys. So this does have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. Oh, I'm sorry, 8 Gen 1, right? So that's actually, it's a flagship chipset, right? I think Snapdragon is on basically. Hey, we got Red X in the house. What's going on, Red X? Sorry, I'm seeing the chat's a little bit late. Let's see what you're saying. You're saying, Matt, I might be getting a new phone soon. We'll probably go with a Razor 2023 with Cricket for $100. It's not a bad deal. Honestly, if you go with Boost Mobile now, also, I think Boost is offering around the same deal. You can get the Motorola Razor, the Prime Edition, for about the same amount. And maybe I'm pretty positive that this, Metro by T-Mobile is still offering the Motorola Razor. Let's see. Yep, here it is. So Motorola Razor 2023. Of course, I would want it in purple. This phone is $199 with the new number, but if you bring your number, it's only $99. So it's actually a very nice, sleek device. I still have mine. You know what I mean? I don't have it active anymore, but for when I got it, I think I paid like $160 or maybe $150. I'm not 100% sure. I think I paid with the new number $199. So I did pay what you're seeing here as far as that goes. I think with the plan, I was able to choose the $40 plan though, opposed to what you guys are seeing here. So pretty much now, from what I'm seeing, like if Metro is going to be giving away any phones, they're going to really kind of try to link you up on. They're going to try to link you up on the. There we go. They're going to try to link you up on the $65 plan, which I'm really not that big of a fan of. But my only thing with that is, I think once you do that, you can probably downgrade to the $40 plan, maybe after a month or two or something like that. Because, I mean, what are you really getting with the $60 plan besides like hotspot and maybe more international calling? They're going to give you free Netflix or something? I don't think so. But anyways, guys, Red X, I hope you get the device that you want, man. I mean, sheesh. I mean, that's exciting. It's a nice little device. I'm seeing more people with devices like this, so I'm glad that people are finally starting to differentiate from just like owning an iPhone. Now, keep in mind, right, this is, even though it's a Motorola Razor, right, and you would think like, oh, it's high tier, right, because it's a flip phone. It is more of a mid-range phone, right? So you're getting a Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 processor, I believe. Camera setup isn't 100% amazing. You're just getting basically a dual setup on the back with a front camera. Front camera is really pretty decent, though. You are getting a 6.9-inch display, so the phone is long, by the way, guys. It's a little bit longer than what you would get on other devices. Almost a 7-inch phone. My only gripe on the phone is it's not very wide, so it's more of a thin device. Make sure you get your case for it, though. It does have wireless charging. It's got a POLED display, so it's got a very nice looking display. I can't complain about the display. It's a very light phone also. So the only thing that you might not like about it is the battery life. So 4,200 milliamp battery on this device. It's not supposed to have a big battery because of its thinness. It's a very thin phone. If you lay it out the way it's supposed to be, it's a thin device. It's not a very fat device like you would see on other devices, basically. So many cool phones. Yes, sir. Let's see. You're saying I'm even thinking about getting the ThinkPhone and the Edge Plus. Oh yeah, I love my ThinkPhone, honestly. My only complaint about the ThinkPhone is that I'm not a fan of the camera. I guess not to say like picture wise or anything like that. Video could be a little bit crispier, and the auto focus on the camera isn't where I would like it to be. But I'm hoping, Motorola phones, they're getting better, right? I think that's something that I have noticed also, that that they're trying to be different, but also they're trying to give you something that's cheap. I mean, the ThinkPhone right now on Amazon is still like $300. bucks. Let's check that out really quick. You know, we can get off here already. We can get off here. So Motorola ThinkPhone. Let's just type it out right now. I think it's on sale, so it's $395. Yeah, so I mean the phone's actually cheaper than when I bought it, because when I bought it, it was like, I think it was $399 plus taxes. I paid like $340, right? But this is a very good device, guys. It's got a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus, I believe. So not 8 Gen 2, but it's a very snappy phone. I'm gonna go ahead and post the link in the chat here so you guys can check that out. You guys want to click that link. If you guys click the link, I get a small cut from the sales, so I would really appreciate it. I am an Amazon affiliate for the most part, so if you guys click that link, I get a small cut. Even if you don't buy that phone, if you click that link, I will get a small cut for the device that you purchased. Doesn't matter if it's the ThinkPhone or if you decide to buy something else. Buying an unlocked phone like this does have its benefits, right? You can use it on services like Verizon, Metro by T-Mobile, Cricket, right? So that's one thing that I love about these devices, right? And you get, you know, the cool part is you get wireless charging with it as well. Okay, what are they promoting here? So they're actually promoting several devices here. So you know, the Edge Plus, I know, which is a phone that a lot of people do look at. Let's see, I think they're asking $599 for the Edge Plus still from last year. So very similar specs. I think the Edge Plus has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So this is basically Motorola's flagship phone minus the Motorola Razor with the bigger screen on the front. Those are both like $1,000 phones. But you're getting 8 Gen performance. Like, you're getting really good bang for your buck, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I would rather buy one of these than spend like, you know, $1,000 like, you know, like on a Pixel. I mean, if I were to get this, it would be hard for me to choose between this and a Google Pixel as far as Android devices. You're saying that's my dream phone right now. Yeah, the Edge Plus. Yeah, it's $599 on Amazon. You might be able to snag a deal on the actual Motorola website. But like I said, like, the phone is unlocked, made for US. From what I'm seeing, it has 8 gigs of internal memory. Or 8 gigs of RAM, but you do have 512 gigs of internal storage, opposed to the Motorola ThinkPhone. The ThinkPhone only has, I believe, 256 gigs of internal memory. So, but look at the price difference. It's $200 less than what you're spending on the Motorola Edge Plus. So let's take a look here. But yeah, guys, for the most part, you know, I think that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. I want to take a little nappies. Let's see. I have the Motorola Razor Plus. Oh, we got another person in the chat. Let's go. Jeffro, I have the Motorola Razor Plus, and I love it, and it's held up very good, and battery life is pretty decent. All right. So I don't have the Plus myself, but I do have the Motorola Razor from last year, the one with a smaller screen. And for the most part, you know, it's a nice little phone to use. Like, I'm not complaining. I no longer have the phone under active service, so I might decide to sell it. But for the most part, you know, it is a decent device. I can't complain. I would really like to get my hands on the Motorola Razor Plus just to see, you know, where it would go or whatever. You know, as far as like how the usability of it, etc., like that. But I'm pretty sure, you know, I mean, I would just get a little bit better performance. But guys, if you're looking for a steal, what I love about the ThinkPhone also, before we get off here, is one, if you can connect this to your laptop, or not just your laptop, but you can actually connect this to a computer monitor, right? So if you get a USB-C cable to HDMI, you can actually use this as a Chromebook. It does have a feature where if you connect it, all you need is a wireless keyboard and mouse, and you literally could use this as like a workstation. You know, if you were like traveling or whatever and you needed a workstation and you didn't have access to like a computer or something like that, this would be an amazing alternative, right? And I actually do have it. I just haven't made the video on it because, you know, I'm lazy and I don't like to make videos sometimes. But yeah, this phone is very good when it comes to stuff like that. Again, wireless charging. It's got a very decent battery life also. Can pretty much be used on all retailers, right? It says, although it does say calling does not support Boost US cellular, I do have Helium Mobile running on this phone right now currently. So Helium Mobile is working on my Motorola ThinkPhone. Don't buy into it that it might not work on some of these networks. You really have to kind of just go out and try getting a SIM card. This is the US version. I believe there is an international version, I believe, but I think this is the US version of the device. So see Titus in the house. He says, "Hey, waiting to see what Moto releases this year, hoping for a new Fusion to come to the US, possibly." I'm waiting to see if they're gonna come out with a new Motorola ThinkPhone, man. Red X says, "Man, the ThinkPhone is so sick. It will be perfect for me as a gig worker." Yeah, I mean, you already know I do gig work on the side also. So I was actually using this on my other channel to film myself, basically. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I'm still here, guys. Don't worry. Sorry, one second. All right, let's take a look here. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, and I mean, going back here, let's see what's your other channel again? I'll go ahead and link it. So actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and just share my other channels with you guys right now, because why the hell not? Let's see. Let me see if I can. So let's get off this page really quick. YouTube.com. You're gonna see my feed here. Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna view my channel. So BTech Reviews. Here's the BTech Reviews channel, guys. And if you scroll a little bit down, and you can use, I think you can do this through the app also, I'm not 100% sure, but if you can't, you can get on your computer or laptop. So I have a few other channels, guys. I appreciate it if you subscribe to them, right? If you don't want to, that's okay also. But for the most part, my main channel is this channel. It's a tech channel. You guys know I do unboxings, and I go over other things. But yeah, for the most part, so the channel I'm talking about, it's called Side Hustle Mike. I do gig work on this channel. It started with me just kind of doing Uber Eats, but then it kind of just turned into me doing Walmart Spark deliveries, right? So I'm not complaining about that. You know what I mean? Basically, doing the deliveries has given me the ability to buy a car. So as you can see there on the main page, it says I bought a car doing gig work, basically Walmart Spark driver. So for people that don't think that that gig work won't make a difference in your life, you know what I mean? It's definitely not hard work. It's a little physically demanding if you're lifting the cases of water, but if you're doing stuff like Uber Eats and stuff like that, then it's not going to be difficult for you at all, because really, how hard is it carrying a bag of McDonald's and a drink, right? It's really not that hard. And in some areas it pays good. I was talking to Tito yesterday when I was doing the live stream, and Tito was basically telling me that him and his wife, because they do Uber Eats together, that they make around close to $200 just doing it for a couple of hours. You know what I mean? So again, in their market, it's a lot. It depends on the market. Obviously, their market is pretty good when it comes to stuff like that. But from what I'm seeing, right, you know what I mean? It really just depends on your market. And again, can't complain as far as that goes. Like I said, I do Walmart Spark because that works for me. A lot of people do DoorDash. A lot of people do Grubhub. They do Uber Eats, right? They do rideshare, right? I'm not a fan of doing rideshare just because I don't want strangers in my car, although I know it can pay. But it's just not something I would do personally, you know what I mean? So if you guys are into stuff like that, do it, you know what I mean? Let's save that. I'm gonna have to go back and add some tags over here. Let's refresh this really quick. Sorry about that, guys. Put a thumbnail on here. There you go. I'm always wearing that blue shirt. I feel like I wear the same clothes all the time. You're asking, is that the new Edge? What do you mean, is that the new Edge? Edge what are you talking about, Edge? So But anyways, going back there, like you can see videos like this, right? I filled up the entire back portion of my car. Let's watch a video of this. I actually still have my truck.
Hey guys, Side Hustle Mike here, and I know it's been probably a minute since
Let's watch one of my videos, guys, just because we're here.
You guys are missing me probably. What's been happening with me is I've been kind of working my main job a little bit more. Right now you can see I just left Best Buy, and I do have another YouTube channel that I do post content on. So, you know, if you guys want to check that out, you definitely can. Currently, I've actually been out for the last couple of hours doing some side hustle work, right? I did one Walmart order earlier, and I did like a favor order as well, which was a grocery delivery. This would be my third delivery for today, but this is a Sam's Club order, guys, and get this, the customer is tipping $40-some, okay? So it's a double order, so it's a batched order. It's the same customer. It's going to the same location. It's an 8-mile drive though, so I am traveling a little bit for it. But the payout is over $60. Sam's Club, surprisingly.
Well, you better subscribe to me if you say you like watching them.
Customer does not, you know,
go watch my old videos, please.
Because it seems like it's a pretty big order, and I wanted to kind of document this for you guys because Sam's Club orders can be, I guess, tiresome, you know what I mean? And the ones that I've seen have been throwing out like just batch orders, and I don't really care to do batch orders.
Yeah, Spark, it does pay, but I usually tend to stay away from the Sam's Club orders because they're very high mileage and low paying. So
they just want to try to get as many orders out as they can for as little money as possible. So think about it, if you're doing 10 orders and only getting paid $30 and you're driving 30 to 40 miles, is it really worth it? Keep in mind, I drive a truck, guys.
Thanks for subscribing, boss. I appreciate it.
You know, it's one of those deals where I kind of need the orders to make sense so that, you know, the payout is good. Right now, the weather's kind of getting ugly, though. As you can see here, I am going to be driving into possibly a storm, and I might get a little wet. So, again, I'm going to be turning into the Sam's Club very soon. In fact, I'm already turning into the plaza that I'm supposed to be in, but the weather looks pretty nasty. I think it's just a small storm system though that's going to pass through. Keeping my fingers crossed that this where I'm going, I'm not going to get wet, so we'll find out. We'll see, because as you can see here, going west, which is the direction I'm going in, the weather doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to try to get this order quickly and then head out as fast as I can, because you know, I definitely don't want to get caught in the rain. I definitely don't want to have to be dropping this order off in the rain as well.
So I do still have this truck, guys, by the way. I haven't sold it. I think it's going to go to my dad. But I might just keep it, you know, if he doesn't want to get rid of his other vehicle,
there you go,
then I'm going to probably stay with it, if anything.
Again, I wanted to document this, guys, just because it's probably one of the bigger orders that I've taken. I can tell you there's a bunch of sodas and a bunch of big items, and you know Sam's Club, you know that they never bag.
Oh yeah, this is an old video, by the way. This video is from like 6 months ago, probably, maybe longer than that.
Guys, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the trunk once I get the items.
Look at the window.
Also, while I'm waiting for them to bring me the stuff out, I haven't really done any type of Walmart orders in a good like 3 weeks already, and it's been so long that I've done any type of Walmart orders that they actually sent me an incentive saying if I do 10 orders within a specific amount of time that I'll get a guaranteed $200. So let's say, for instance, I do those 10 orders and
I miss those incentives.
$20 with tips, then Walmart / Sam's or whatever you want to call it will include an extra $80 to my check or whatever you want to call it. And that promotion ends on May the 2nd.
Yeah, it's an old 4Runner, boss.
I was kind of trying to
and
stay
yes,
away from the bigger size orders, if you know what I mean, as far as
I am only doing Spark orders at the moment, but if it slows down on Spark, I have access to Uber Eats, and I have another gig app that I have access to, so I'm not really stuck on Walmart, but if I need to, I'll use the other apps. But for now,
the stuff that they are ordering is not too bad, although these are kind of I'm not too worried about the sodas. It's all of this stuff. There's a lot of items here, but let's see if we can load it. All right, so as you can see here, I pretty much filled up the entire back portion of my 4Runner. This is why
crazy, right? Look at that.
Truck. Again, the only only heavy items are the sodas. Everything else is pretty light. So
It's pretty much as full as I've ever got in my vehicle when it comes to a delivery. I mean, I've delivered like TVs and stuff like that also.
Check that out. That's pretty much the only stuff I had to put in the bag.
I almost forgot those 2 items in the back, by the way.
Let's get this going, guys. Again, this is a $60 pickup, and we're gonna make that money today. All right, so we are trying to find the location of this.
I think I remember delivering this. Was at a church, so that whole entire property was like a big church area.
So it's kind of a business location, I guess, but it's at.
And I was lucky to avoid the rain, so.
The back, guys. So I'm gonna try to get this figured out.
Yeah, I have an older, like this is a 2002 4Runner. It's got 309,000 miles on it. Can you believe that? Look at that. So I think I just took a picture of that.
Okay, so luckily I'm delivering to a church and they had this cart. So shout out to all of them for letting me use the cart, because if not, this would have taken forever. But I did this in 3 trips. So let's get this last portion going. Alright guys, so I just delivered to that church, and first of all, it wasn't a hard delivery. The only thing that was a little bit difficult about the delivery was the sodas itself. But me being able to use the cart, I was able to, get things in quickly. They had a ramp, so I didn't have to go up the stairs.
Yep, it's still running.
All the time. Excuse the motion there. I'm trying to adjust my little tripod here. And again, it was a $42 tip. I think the total transaction was $64. It was a $12 payout from Sam's or Walmart, and then it was a $40-some tip. And I'll try to screenshot or put it up for you guys there, just so that you guys can see that. But that literally took me it took me less than an hour to do this, from pickup to drop off. So the drop off was kind of far. It was about a little over 8 miles. It ended up taking me into a city that's west of the city I was in. So that was chill. The drive was not bad. There's not traffic right now. School hasn't let out, and it was very easy. Loading wasn't hard. Luckily, I drive a big truck, guys, and I basically made $60 in that 1 hour. So like, that's what I love about gig work, is you can kind of, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's bad. In this case, today it was pretty good. I made literally $60 in 1 hour. That's normally at my normal job I get paid $20 an hour. So I was able to make what I make in 3 hours at my regular job in this one order. So I'm very happy about that, guys. And I just kind of wanted to document and show you guys, how easy it is, right, to do gig work. It's not hard, guys. If you have a decent working vehicle, and you know how to navigate as far as GPS goes, then anyone's able to do this, guys. But again, guys, don't forget, if you guys like the video,
yeah, it was a good order, man. $60. I mean, I had to make a few trips.
Doing a live stream very soon. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see a live stream.
All right, so that's basically the video, guys. But yeah, pretty much like that trip was, it took me about an hour, but I made 60. I think it was over $60. I think it was like $63 or $64. But for the most part, it was not a very, it was a very good order. That was a good day. I made like $100 in a few hours, honestly. So, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I'm gonna leave it on the screenshot of my face like that, because it looks dumb. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming in. Again, if you guys, like the channel, subscribe. If you guys like my content, please smash that like button for me, right? It does help the algorithm. It helps other users find the channel, especially based on what they're searching for. So again, subscribe to the Gig Work channel, and I have a few other channels on the main page that you can follow also, that I'll talk about on another stream. But you guys have a good afternoon. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Shout out to you, Red, and shout out to whoever else was here. I know it was Jeffro and Titus were both chit-chatting in the chats today. So again,